Hey guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining. If it's your first time here, my name is Ntabi, and this is Real Talk with Ntabi. All right. So, where do I begin? Where do I begin? As you can see from, of course, this topic here, Black Tech, I honestly saw the need for us to have this conversation. I don't know, it's been going through my mind, and I've been working throughout the day, but I was like, this thing, it's inside of me. I need to talk about this. And I don't know what best, like how best to do it. But I thought, let me go live and engage with you. All right, let me take a breather. All right. So black tax in my African culture is when you get to be a financial assistant or to offer financial assistance to your family or extended family, right? So this is something that we experiencing as black people, and I would like to believe that not only black people affected by black tax, but because majority of black people come from very disadvantaged areas, so it has to do a lot of the statistics already show more of black people. Hey, welcome, my darling. Thank you for joining. All right. So, what does black tax mean to you? And are you affected by black tax? Do you believe in what we call black tax? Black tax. Do you get offended when we talk about the word black tax? Because I know that some people feel like the fact that I'm helping my parents, helping my family, it doesn't mean that this is black tax. It shouldn't be associated as black tax or whatever the case may be. So I'm curious, what do you feel about this? Like how is what is your when it comes to black tax? Are you affected? Do you believe that there's something called black tax? And when you help your family, do you classify it as helping, or is it you are doing black tax? Now, the whole purpose of this video is to really speak about what goes on in terms of this so-called black tax, right? What happens? Because the bottom line is that it 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 speaks a lot on finances. It's a financial way of helping other people. Now, here's the thing. I believe that our parents or our elders or our guardians really invested in us, for those that of course have parents that were able to help them to go to school and everything like that. And as a black child, I grew up feeling like I actually am obliged to give back, to make a difference, and to just more like give gratitude to my parents in a way of, after graduating, after getting a job, doing something for them just to say thank you. So in our black culture, we feel like that's how it's like it's a part of a culture. I don't know if you are here and you feel the same way. It's a part of our culture. It's like we know that we need to give back. We need to do something after that, right? The fact that you were able to um, graduate, get work, I mean, the first salary ever, I had to make sure that obviously I didn't give it all to my parents or to my mother, because often people say that your first salary, you should give it to your parents. I did that, but I didn't take the whole salary because obviously, if I'm employed, I have to pay my rent, I have to pay for transport. So there's a certain amount of money that I had to keep. But the majority of it, I did give it to my mom. I did give it to my parents, of course. So yeah, well, my mom handles everything, so I'll keep referring to her because I would obviously give it to her. All right. So, my question is, when do we draw the line in terms of this black tax? How long do we keep helping our families, our extended families, and when do we say no, briga bova, no, now I really can't do it anymore? Or when do you say I can only do one, two, three? Because when it comes to black tax, I feel like there's so many things. There's a psychological part of it, and there's just that what emotional blackmail, or feeling like, no guys, like I have to help out. If I don't help out, it'll be like I'm not doing right by my family and all of that. So how do you feel about this? Are you affected by it? Now, let's get to the main concern that I have, which honestly made me do this video. And it's that question of, when do you draw the line? And how is the future of our youth looking? How is the future financially looking? And I'm asking this because we have young people, youth, that at this very moment, they are already in big, big debts because they had to what take up loans, do whatever, and all that. And this is mainly because they needed to do something for their family and all that. So they take out loans that will mean they have to repay them for the next 20 years and all of that. Now, when you think about someone in their 20s, and then you think of the fact that they are already in debt, and they have debt that they have to pay for the next 10, 15 years, you ask yourself, what is their future? How is their future looking? And by the time they reach that 20 years of repaying that, what's going to be happening in the interim? Like, what are they building? Are they even able to save up money for themselves for their future? Because as much as we grow up helping others and everything, at some point we have to help ourselves. At some point you have to build your own future, build your own family and all of that. You can't remain in your 20s forever. You can't remain in your 30s forever. You need to build your own family. How do you go about, and I feel like what's really okay, how do I put it? This is a very sensitive topic because I honestly don't want to step on someone's toe, because a lot of people look at it different. And please stick around because I want you to understand me every angle, and don't even try to maybe justify certain things until give your opinions, give your suggestions or your thoughts, and let's iron it out. I'll give you my thoughts. That doesn't mean I'm 110% correct. I could be saying it based on my opinion. All right. So let me read Dipuo's comment. Dipuo says, it's affecting me now that I'm married and have kids. Oh my goodness. Oh, Dipuo, my goodness. All right, I will get to your comment. Let me just explain this. I will get to your comment because I think we need to talk about that. So what I've noticed, or what I'm seeing as a Black child from a village, I see, excuse me, Excuse me. Sorry. So what I'm noticing is that the issue of black tax, it moves from one generation to another. So we majority of black kids, especially, by the way, not every black person has experienced black tax. Not every black person or someone from a village has experienced black tax. We have families that were able to secure funds for their kids and really build their lives to the point where when their kids are able to now start their lives, they could start with something. So not everyone is affected by this. Now, what I want to say is that I see this moving from one generation to another. So meaning you come from a family that was not able to do one, two, three for themselves. And when you work, you are obviously, it's actually, I don't want to say you are expected, but obviously if you're working and then you know very well that back at home things are not great, you will need to go back and help. And it's a good thing. I mean, I don't even look at it differently. Whenever I help my family, I feel fulfilled. It's the best feeling ever, right? So I want you to understand this point. It's the best feeling ever. So now my point is, by the time you start working for yourself as, a young person, late teens, or you are on your, youth uh, level, you start working for yourself and everything. You take up a loan, or maybe fortunately you get a bursary. Once you're done, you obviously have to somehow help out at home. So some are able to juggle both, help their families, help themselves based on the salaries that they're getting. It's enough for them to really balance the two. And then you've got this other what middle class, where it's like you live from paycheck to paycheck, and then it's that thing of I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I have to help out, and you help out, and then things are just hectic. You're forced to go to a point of really exhausting your funds, or not being able to save enough money during your time of working, because you have certain things to do. You have to help out at home. You have to buy groceries at home. You have to take your siblings to school. You have to build a house at home. You have to take care of your grandparents. You have to, all of those things. And all these things are finances. You they include money and all that. So you find yourself not being able to save, living from paycheck to paycheck. And later in your life, let's say 20 years down the line, or 10 years, 20 years is a long time. 10 years down the line, even 5 years for that matter, you like, cool. You start to just evaluate, or just do a analyze what's happening in your life, finances and everything, and you realize that I don't have much saved, and I'm at the level where I want to start building my life. I want to invest in my own home, my own car, my own um, savings, whatever, building for yourself. But you can't do that because you are still helping out. So now the question is, when do you draw the line? When do you say that I can only do so much and that's it? When do you say, because I for one would not stay, whether it's the last money that I have, unfortunately, this is just me. If I happen to have 500 in my hands and my mom says, my child, I don't have food, I don't have electricity or something like that, I would actually take that 500 and give it to you, and I'll sort myself. That's just me. But also, it's that thing of, can I keep doing that? Can I keep doing that? What happens with me? You know, what happens with me? So I really want to talk about the future of, you know, our current youth, our future as young people. I mean, well, I'm getting old. I'm 34 years old. Wow, guys, I'm 34, baby. I'm 34, turning 35 next year. and which is huge. I'm going to my 40s soon, so it's a huge number, you know. So I'm thinking of someone who's maybe on their 20s, early 30s, and all of that. Um, is your financial future secure? And are you obliged to keep helping your family and everything? And are you somehow doing anything to better the situation? And let's talk about bettering the situation. I'm coming to the first comment. Bettering the situation. So, like for example, I have siblings. We are four at home. I have an older brother, and it's myself. I have a younger brother, and I have a sister, last born, right? So it's the four of us. So I've really seen. I saw a need to invest more in my siblings. To say, as we are siblings like this, we need to invest in doing something for ourselves so that we can secure our lives. So, meaning, obviously, as a bigger sister, I need to take care of my siblings and all of that. But now it's my responsibility as a sister to say, as much as I'm helping my siblings and I'm investing in their lives and helping them out whenever they need something, it's very important also that I teach them. I teach them the principle of building your own future, building your own career, building your like securing yourself financially, meaning investing in knowledge, investing in a skill that will help you to make more for yourself. And I would like to believe that that is something that I, tried so much to invest in my siblings. I still do. Okay, to say really have something that will secure you because this is your future. I don't want them to get to the level where it's like it's that thing of okay, um, when I started working, I needed to help them. So I don't want them when they start working or being okay for them to now start helping my child. I don't know if you get what I mean. I need to be able to secure to make sure that my child's future is secured. I don't need my siblings to come and help me raise my child. So I have to instill that thing in them to say, you need to make sure that you secure yourself. So now, black tax, as much as the common thing, we need to break that generational curse as young people. And we need to shift away from saying that our parents did not really teach us much about finances. I didn't know much about financial education, whatnot. You don't need your parents to know about financial education. You don't need your parents to tell you, yes, I wish at my 20s I knew much about saving. Unfortunately, I wasn't very clued up, but I just had to say, oh, well, you know what? I had a bank account. Whenever there was just money in my bank account, I saw the need to just use it. And that was a concern. It wasn't a concern at the time because there was money in the bank. So when there's money in the bank, it's meant to be used. So that's how I looked at it. So whenever the fact that I had a bank account, I felt like, okay, I need to have money. So that was a good thing. I need to have money. But I did not have that part in me that says you need to accumulate your money. You have to make sure that your money grows. So meaning by the time, because I started working at a young age, by the way. So I started being a student assistant where I was studying. So when I was 21, was it 22? 22, I started, my first salary was 750. And then it moved from 750 to around 1.5, from 1.5 to about 3.5. And then it grew, obviously, when I got bigger opportunities, right? Hi, Insights with Hannah. I'm coming to you, comment, darling, right? So had I known the importance of saving then, I would have saved up for myself. And I would have maybe even gotten to a level where I have deposited my own car, my first car, So something about black tax, how it affects us, especially as black people, is that when we start having to live our lives, when we have to start building our lives, there are things that are still hanging that needs to be done. It can be that student loan that you take, that student loan that you have to pay, and then you have to help out at home. I mean, I think it's only fair that I give you a practical example of what I did. I built a home for my parents. So we lived in a shack for almost, I don't know how many years, almost 30. I'm 30 what? It's been what? It's been 4 years now since the house was finished. Well, not 100% finished, because that's another thing. A house can never be complete. There's so many things that needs to be done. But I can safely say 4 years of us being able to have that home. So I had to build that. So meaning I had to invest money in that, and certain things about me or for me needed to pause a little bit. And I also had a student loan, which I had to repay. So while I was busy building the home, I was repaying my student loan. So it's that question of, okay, you have to juggle all of this. At the same time, you have to check if your siblings are okay. I know my sister at the time was still in tertiary. I had to help her out. I had to see at home if things were okay. So it's all of those things that happen all at once. So now, something about, like, I never got to own a car, during my first years of working. And not because I didn't want to, but because I couldn't afford to get a car. And there was a point where I could afford to get a car, but I had to choose, okay, which one is the highest priority? Me getting a car first and then driving and going to park just outside a shack? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I can't do that. And then I was like, no, I'm going to invest in helping my family with a home, for them to have a home. Now, fast forward. What is black tax? Okay. Hi, Dave. Dave is asking, what is black tax? Dave, black tax is when you, as a black child, because it's classified as black tax, is when, actually, let me show you this banner. It explains it better. Watch this. So basically, when you offer financial assistance to your family or your extended family, that's basically black tax. Now, my biggest question or my biggest concern, like as I was explaining and just giving an example of my life, to say I had to build a home for my family, and then I had to make sure that I help out my sister at school and all of those things. And I had to pause on getting myself a car because I couldn't do all of that, right? So the big question is, this is Youth Month, and at the same time, I feel like our future relies on the generation, this current generation. Our future lies on our current generation, and it's a question of, if you are young now and you are doing something with your life and you are building towards something, is that some is what you're building going to affect the next generation positively? So I honestly, based on my background, and not just my background, I mean, I have a foundation, Real Talk with Ntabi Foundation, where we go around um, disadvantaged schools, donate sanitary towels, deodorants, motivate young people. And when you get there, you see the struggle that these young people go through. And then you realize that their struggle is not just there. They also have are experiencing that in their homes. So meaning this child is in high school, they're struggling at home. So by the time she's done with school, it means that she will need to make sure that she she finds means to get student loan to go to university, or maybe pause and get work. And the thing with pausing with your studies and getting work is that the work that you're going to get can only pay you a certain amount of money. You can't get so much more based on, you know, your qualifications or the level of skills that you have. And that money that you get, it means that the little money that you'll be getting, you have to go back home and help, which is a good thing. You have to help out. You can't have it any other way. But my biggest question is that when you are busy working on that, when are you going to start investing in yourself, in and helping yourself? And I'm a Christian. I believe so much in God, and I believe in giving and helping. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I would make sure that I take my last cent and make sure that my family is okay and sort myself out, make it plan. But now I'm concerned about the future, to say, even with our families, your family, your parents, your extended families, your siblings, your brothers, your cousins, and everything, if they are depending on you to help them, how much are they expecting you, or how long are they expecting you to do that? Because at some point you need to start living your own life. I mean, 34 years old as I am, tomorrow I can be pregnant and have a baby. And the kind of money that I would maybe give out to my siblings, that will have to stop because I have responsibilities. But now, how do we look at the bigger picture of this, to say, like, for example, if we need to secure a good financial life for ourselves and for our kids, it means that I need to save up for my kids before they are born, before they are even born. You get my point? I need to save up for them before they are even born. That, like, they should be secure. By the time I give birth to my kids, they should at least have something, or something in the bank that keeps growing, money in the bank that keeps growing. You know, that should be the way to do it. Unlike saying that I'll start saving when they are here. How are you going to do that? And when they are here, kids grow so fast. If you are here, you've got kids, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know that, I mean, I don't have my own child yet, but I mean, I've got siblings, I've got nieces, I've got, all of that. So I know. So when are you going to look at it this way, that there's a bigger picture in all of this, and it psychologically affects you, it emotionally affects you, and as much as we are kind, we are givers and all of that, we need to put an educational mindset in all of this, and a reality mindset, because we need to be realistic, to say, if we keep doing things the way our parents used to do them, it means that this is something that is going to continue from one generation to another. Nothing will change. It will just keep going like that. Nothing will change. So we need to break that generational curse, if it's a curse or something like that, because I don't want to really what step on your toes and say that don't help your family, don't be there for them. I mean, listen, I would not be happy with you if you're gonna be sitting in your house, having good cooked food, and then your parents, your family is suffering and they don't have food on their table. I would really have a problem with you if you're going to allow it. But now I am talking about the reality of knowing that if you have that 1,000, you have to say, family, I know very well that I usually spend 700 on you, but I cannot. I need to also help myself and secure my future. So meaning I can now give you 100 rand On that 1,000, I can give you 100 rand. And I would expect you to understand my situation. If I'm gonna, be able to better my life, I will need to take this step. So, do you feel like most of families have this expectation from someone who's a breadwinner or someone who's working? Do you think that there's an expectation of you having to pay money or what to buy things and all of that? Or have we, as let's say you are the one who they're dependent on, have you created that picture of expect this from me? Have you done that? Or have you gotten to a point where you draw the line to say, this is how I can help? Because again, remember I said that this is a psychological thing. Again, the biggest issue could be that they are used to knowing that our sister is there, our brother is there, he or she will help us. It's okay. That's what they know, and it's normal. It's okay, but they don't know this side of thinking ahead to say, hey, you know what? Tomorrow it can be a rainy day, or tomorrow this person needs to build their own life. So what is happening to the financial future of our youth? Is it growing or is it dying or is it getting bad? Because if it's getting bad, then it is a problem. It's a question of what's going to happen to the next generation. Are we building generational wealth? I don't know if you guys get me, but let me pause. Let me go to your comments because yeah. Whew, all right. So Dipuo says it's affecting me now that I'm married and have kids. So imagine you're married, you have kids, and still you are affected by black tax. It's exactly what I was talking about, that you already, now you have your own family. You need to look out for your family. And if you have, because I would assume that if you are going through this when you already have kids, it means that it's something that was ongoing before you even had kids, before you were even married, right? So you couldn't even, have the opportunity to save money for your future kids or the kids that you currently have now. You couldn't do that. And psychologically, I can imagine how it's affecting you. So now it's a question of what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And is there a choice for you to get out of the situation? Because the sad thing again is that sometimes you don't have a choice. None of your family members are with you, and they are relying on you to help. And you don't have a choice. You have to help out. But now, can we change the situation? Can we change the narrative? Can we better the situation? Or is it too late? Because this right here makes me sad. Because I'm thinking of myself, like I'm 34, I'm gonna have kids soon. Right now I'm ready. I'm just waiting on God, I'm so ready to have my kid. And do I want to see myself going through what Dipuo is going through? I don't want that. I don't want that because it means that I'm gonna make my child suffer. So my child will have to take care of me. Is that what I'm saying? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. My child cannot take care of me. No, I don't want that. I want my child to take care of themselves, of him or herself, and to be able to build his wealth, it's a huge concern. But it's a question of how do you get out of this situation? How do you get out of this messy situation? Because as Black, we this is part of our culture, guys, and this is part of our culture in a way that we know that it's like some kind of expectation, though we have built it in ourselves. So, like I'm saying, there has to be an educational way of looking at this. I'm not an expert, Dipuo. I'm not an expert, but all I can say is that there has to be some kind of conversation some real talk, some real talk as to, guys, this is the situation. What's happening? How do we go about this? How do we work together? Basically, how do we work together? How do we help each other in this situation? Because at the end of the day, that's what we need to do. We need to help each other. So you need to speak to your parents. You need to speak to whoever who's dependent on you. There has to be some kind of a common ground, because if this is the case, it means that your kids will have to take care of you. Oh my word. Insights with Kina says, being a big sis has more responsibilities because we sometimes undergo it and realize at a very late stage. That's so true. I mean, I'm a sister myself, and my sister was dependent on me from 7 years old. So let me tell you a bit of a story. My sister used to call me her hero when she was 7 years. And my younger brother and sister, they would call me. I would be at school. I remember when I was the first university that I went to in the Northwest before I moved to Johannesburg. Um, I used to stay in a commune. They used to call me. They would be staying at home with my parents. They would call me and say, sis, I need sports clothes for school. I need 1, 2, 3. They would call me. And when I looked at that, I was like, this means that my siblings are relying on me to help them, and they believe in me to help them. So I did not feel like I'm being black taxed or anything, but I felt like they actually believe in me to help them. So I saw a responsibility to help them. So I do understand what you're saying, that you know, that's those responsibilities, and you keep doing because you know that it's a responsibility. You have to do it. So it's like you just do it, overdo it, and not actually realize that in the long run it affects you. It affects you, and we realize this at a later stage, which is so true. Which is so true. I mean, like I was saying, late 20s. That's when I realized that I could have just tried to save up money. I could have instilled that in my siblings to say, hey, start saving up money, or maybe thinking that let me open bank accounts for them and make them accountable. You get what I mean? So because I didn't have that financial background, I couldn't do that. I didn't even do that for myself. You get my point? So we realize that at a later stage. And unfortunately, when it's late, it's bad. It's bad because you're affected either way. And when you are deep in, you can't get out. When you are deep in with a student loan of 100,000, or a student or a bank loan of 500,000, you will have to find a way. It means that you are obliged, or you are expected to pay that. Already you are in, you can't get out. The only way to get out is to obviously repay all of that. And when it says that it's a period of 20 years for you to pay that, 20 years, imagine you are around 25 years, or you, by the time you're done repaying that, how old will you be? Yo, guys, this is a sensitive topic. I answered Dave's question. Dave says, I get it. Awesome, Dave. Awesome. Dibu says, I say help them to help themselves and not to keep on helping them. Yes, 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 yes. You have, if you have siblings, invest in their education. I love that. I love that, Dibu, because you are really summarizing what I've been saying, to say how we put that, or how we add that educational aspect into all of this, is to really say that now, as much as I've been helping and everything, we need to work together and really help ourselves. And if it means that you think of whether you invest in the education, because here, this is what, okay, this is how I did it with my siblings. My sister, to be exact, I told her that I am going to give you a chance to go to school, because she failed the multiple times. And I sat down with her and said, you know what? You can see that I'm here working, helping you, helping at home, and all of that. So if you are not going to take this opportunity and own up to it, meaning to do your best to really invest in something that you can hold on to, then it means that you're going to go back home, because I won't be able to take care of you. So I gave her that option to say, hey, this is what you need to do. And by me doing that, I was more than willing to invest in her. You know, it's one thing when someone wants something. When someone says, you know what, I failed, but I know that I can make it. I think there was a mistake or something like that. When you see a person willingly wanting to improve or get better, you invest in that person. So I invested by helping my sister to make sure that she gets education. She now graduates. And now that she's graduated, is a question of how do you better your life? Now, how do you make sure that you secure yourself a job, or not just a job, you build something, you know, even a business. I got to involve my sister in my businesses to say, you need to work, help with marketing. She did business and marketing. I was like, you need to help out on certain things here so that you can have experience and everything. You know, right now I relaunched Ruby brand, which is like the earrings and t-shirts and everything. And I said, you will need to market this, because this is basically your baby. So I'm giving it to you. You need to take care of it. So meaning she needs to have ways to help herself out, because I don't want to be able to be helping you. I mean, if it's her birthday, I can spoil her. It's okay. But if I'm gonna be giving and giving and giving, what am I saying? We can't, you know, as Dipu is saying, I know I over explain. As Dipu is saying, we can't keep giving and giving. We have to invest education and or some kind of skill, or deposit some kind of skill, so that a person can stand and do something for themselves. If you're not there, what's gonna happen? So if something happens tomorrow, you can't work anymore. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to them? Who's gonna now take care of you? And besides taking care of you, what are they gonna do if they don't have anything? They're just dependent. So let's invest education. Let's invest or deposit a skill. Or if you see that, you know what, my siblings, they enjoy the good life, the nice life, the going out, the partying and everything, there has to be priorities that you set. There has to be priorities that we set, because you need to choose in life. You can do everything. You can, you know what, you can have all the cars you want. You can go to all the nice places that you want, amazing events that you want. But if you can afford that, okay. So when you cannot afford that, when you have people in your family or in your cycle that are dependent on you, when they are more focused on certain things, you need to somehow redirect their way of thinking. And I'm not saying you change them, but you redirect their way of thinking to say, okay, I can see that you love beautiful clothes, nice clothes, but are you aware that this jean cost 1,000 rand? Do you understand that if you had to just buy a jean of 300 rand, you can take the 700 rand and save it towards your studies or towards a cause that could help? So I'm like just living and just doing things because no, my sister is there, she's gonna help me. How are you gonna help yourself? How are you gonna help yourself? So we need to instill that. I am in agreement with that. We need to instill that, because the whole conversation of today is that the main concern is what is happening to what how is the future looking for, how is the financial future looking right now, like a lot of people are in debt, like right now, like some are just already they're on credit bureau, because they cannot repay. So what's going to happen? How do we change the narrative? Because this is really a concern. And the reason why a lot of people are even getting into depression and everything, it's because it's too much. They can't even handle all of this. They don't know what to do anymore. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. Precious, hey Precious. Precious says, it's imperative that we have conversations around financial expectations and independence with our parents and siblings as soon as one starts working. Or even better, I'd advise that you have it before. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you are bringing me back to this point that we never have these conversations. We never have these conversations of money. Like, honestly, I'll speak for myself. I've never, it's only now that I am obviously married with my partner and we get to have this conversation. I never got to have a sit down with my family and talk about our finances and everything. The only time we spoke about money with my parents, it's when I'm asking for money, or when they're asking for money, or when just money needs to do something. That's when the conversation will arise. But the hardcore conversation of what comes out, what comes in, what are we saving, like how are we growing the little money that we have, you know? Because I feel like even that conversation of having a bank account as a family to say, hey, we are a family, and I know December we like going somewhere and everything. So how about we think of having that account that will put 100 Rand every now and again, so that come December, we don't have to worry about having to take out money from our own pocket. Let's do this, you know? And then it's like there's so much fear in this conversation. It's like it's a big secret of talking about money. And unfortunately, I feel like at some point I got affected by that, because talking about money, yes, I would have engagements about that, but it was never something that was easily spoken about at home. So it never came comfortably for me. But of course, as I got to grow and develop, and obviously be wise, even streetwise for that matter, and engage with people that somehow innovate me, because the truth about life is that you need to invest in, associating yourself with people that somehow help you to level up, to really be a better person, who will be knowledgeable and somehow guide you through. So I got to do that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I got to learn all of that. And that conversation started happening. I started being cautious that, you see now, this is really something that I have to look into and everything. But before, never had that conversation. We never. So we need to have that conversation before. I believe that we need to have that conversation before. But now, let's say the time has passed. You didn't have that conversation. What happens now? Your parents are over 50 and they're dependent on you. They're not working and everything. What do? You have siblings and you can see that their direction is just okay, or some are seeing the direction of saving. Some are not seeing that. What happens then? So this is what I did when my sister turned, I think she turned 25. Was it 25 years? This is what I did. I gave my sister 100 Rand. I could have got her a gift. I gave my sister 100 Rand as a gift for her 25th birthday. And I gave her 100 Rand and I said, I'm going to give you this 100 Rand. And I want you to take this 100 Rand and go and make sure that you open a savings account on the current account that you have. Make sure that you have a savings account. put that 100 rand there and start saving money for yourself. It was just 100 rand. I could have given her 500 or 1,000 rand or whatever, or got her a gift. I was like, no, I'm giving you this money to go and invest in it. So now, by the time my sister turns 30, well, she might be watching this. She might not. But I'm going to ask her, that 100 rand that I was, it's not like I'm not even giving him now. I'm not even going to count the money. If I happen to give her 500 now, I'm not going to ask about it 5 years later. So now we are left with 3 years. I'm going to ask you this question. What did you, like, how far is that 100 rand? How much have you accumulated from that 100 rand? How much have you invested so far? That's the question that I'm going to ask. So it's three years to go. I haven't asked her as to how much is it now? And do you keep investing and saving up money? Because this is something that I never got to do myself. And I wouldn't want her to go through the same thing. When you see young people being able to buy and deposit cars for themselves after a year of working and all of that, it's because, or maybe get cars, it's because either their parents got to save money for them. And then some were able to be wise enough to put money aside as they are working. I mean, the fact that you got piss jobs and everything like that, you put that money aside. You can even have, a good deposit for a car or something like that. And then we have the pressure of young generation, the youth going through a lot in terms of seeing Tabby driving a beautiful car after a year of working. And they don't know that, no, I actually had a savings. Already my parents had a savings for me. Already there are some kids that are not yet born, but their parents are already investing property for them. And then you're going to work with this person. First year of working together, you see them staying in this nice apartment and you want to put pressure on yourself, mainly because you see that, oh, wow, they have these beautiful things. And it's not because they just earning a lot of money. Chances are they're earning the same amount of money as you. And then you start questioning, why is this? They're probably getting paid more, or they're probably sleeping with the bosses or something like that. You start coming up with questions and everything. Have you thought about the fact that they probably had savings for them, like secured for them? Do you see how this happens? And parents that want to make sure that their kids are okay will invest in that. They want them to build to carry this to the next generation. Because if I invest property for my kids, by the time they reach that 21 years or 20 years and they start staying at home, by the time they start working and everything, they're going to see a need to invest in more property or in something that will help their kids. And then the same thing, it becomes that generation. You get my point? Let me go to your comments. I hope you get my point. I hope you get my point. Thank you, Precious, for that comment. David says, this is a valuable information. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much, David. Much appreciated. Hello, Building Calm with Boo Boo. Hey, Lakita and Corey. I just got here and heard level up. This is good already. Level up. Yes. Welcome. Thank you so much. Building Calm with Boo Boo says, I believe that if we as working young professionals should also let go of certain egos. We want to fulfill everyone's dreams and also dreams of our own. If we can help our families be financially responsible, I think that's what you meant. Be financially responsible, right? All right. So as a working generation, we should let go of certain egos. And based on what Booby's saying, let me just point out put out this point. The truth is, you can never fill my cup. Let's do this so that I demonstrate. You can never fill my cup if yours is empty. There is no way that you can pour in my cup if yours is empty. And unfortunately, when it comes to family, when it comes to our responsibilities for our families and everything, we shy away from that. And shying away from it, unfortunately, is dangerous because it catches up with you in the wrong. You want to, I'm a victim of that. I would take that 500, the last 500 that I have, and give it all to whoever needs it in my family and be left with nothing. Without thinking that maybe if I invest, if I give them 200 and invest 100 rand and be left with something, then somehow there will be something that keeps growing on the other side. And me not being able to say to my parents or my siblings or what, and say, no, 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 I can't help you now because I feel that guilt of not, being able to assist, because there's an expectation that is built to say, I am working, so I need to help. And that's why I asked the question, are we the ones that are actually saying that, build that expectation? Are we the one that allows people to have that expectation? Because sometimes it's just us doing that and thinking in our minds that my parents are depending on me, I can't say no to them and everything. What if you told them that, no, I used to give you so much money, I cannot do that anymore, and it's because of 1, 2, 3. What makes you think that if you can tell them, they can what makes you think they won't understand, or they won't see what you're seeing and maybe think of also other ways to better the situation? Or your siblings or your cousins, whatever, whoever. You get my point? So sometimes we really put that in ourselves as well, and we forget that you can communicate what's happening. You can't really feel like, oh, I have to, like, I need to do this. What happens to communicating and being honest about what's happening? I know the emotional part of it's bad, because I mean, guys, when I grew up in a shack, and I've always, one of the things, when I was in university, I remember that when I was still, about to, when I was, no, I think on my second year, there's a house that I saw, and I'm hoping that I'll find that picture one day and put the house that I built for my family next to it, because that house, I saw it each and every day when I went to school. I used to pass that house, and I would say that I'm going to build that house for my family. And the house that I built is even better than that house. So it's like we grow up with that thing of, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to do what? And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And it's fulfilling. Guys, I would not change what I did for my family for nothing. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, it's the best thing that I feel like I have done. That was my biggest milestone of wanting to really see my family having a home, a house. My mother, can I share with this? Because I want to tell you also, because I want us to have a balance of this conversation. I remember when was it? Was it 2 years ago or a year? I don't know. It was one Christmas that I called my mom, and it was on a Christmas day, and I called her, Merry Christmas, Mom, how are you? And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm cleaning. I'm like, Mom, you can't be cleaning on Christmas Day? Like, really? Why aren't you cooking or just relaxing? You can't clean on Christmas Day. And, and she's like, yo, no, 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 no. I'm so happy that I'm spending my first Christmas in my house. So I'm happy to clean it. I'm okay with that. That, oh, it hit me. it made my Christmas. It made my entire year. So it was Christmas Day, but I felt like, Christmas, I mean, the whole year, whatever that happened, the whole year didn't matter. That mattered to me because I felt like, oh my word, my mom is so happy I was able to do that for her. So that is the precious thing of doing something for your family. That is the most beautiful thing. That is the fulfilling feeling about it. And never deny yourself that feeling. So having said that, I want to speak about the psychology of you mentally growing up and saying, I need to do this, I need to do that. It becomes a routine, a routine. And you're doing a routine just like, I think it's Dipu who said that, it's like, was it Dipu who said you tend to keep doing things and then you forget. It's like it becomes a norm. You don't think that, hey, Ntabi, you are 20 now. Hey, Ntabi, you are 25 now. Ntabi, check your finances. You are 30 now. Ntabi, you just got married now. Ntabi, you're about to have kids. Ntabi, what's happening to your savings? So it's like you become it becomes a routine. And unfortunately, sometimes we are just blinded by just knowing that it's a routine that we've built. We are not willing to pause a little bit to say, hey, what's happening? Because we know, and it's fulfilling to help your parents, to help your family, to help your sibling. It's fulfilling. It's like, stopping somewhere and giving someone who doesn't have food, like doing something nice. It's that thing of doing something. It's fulfilling. And someone who is like me, which I believe you guys are, when you are kind and when you are giving, it becomes a norm. So now we need to have a moment of brigabova. What that means is pause. Pause a little bit. What's happening? Where's your life? What's happening with your life? Where are you? The cycle of your people. What's the progress? Yes, we see you're working. What's happening to your siblings? So the reason why I invested in wanting to see my siblings go to school and have knowledge and build something of their own is because I didn't want to keep, being the one that saves them or be the one that supports them. I needed them to do that for themselves. And the whole point was, I want you to build something for yourself, and I don't expect you to do anything for me. Whatever that I did for you was to help you get to where you need to go. And then after that, you're on your own. So that's what I intended to do. So what are you intending to do with your black tax drama in the family? How are you going to really work through it without really somehow making it feel like you are not doing it right, or you are somehow not being more giving or being kind? Because I believe that knowledge, when knowledge is transferred, nothing can take away the knowledge. When you have invested education, that's why I would say this. Like, if you had to take your kids to the best school ever, do it. If you're going to pay a lot of money taking them to the best schools, do it, because you're investing in their education. And once they have that, they have it. It can't be taken away. So invest in that and help your family or siblings. For parents, it can be very, very difficult to really speak about, because when you are 34 like me, and then you think, how old are my parents? They're over 60. It's like, what are you expecting them to do? To go work? Huh? You can't. So it's like, what do you do? Let me read your comments. I know I talk too much. I know I talk too much. Where are we? Hey Eddie. Eddie says, I'm so inspired watching this cast. Thank you, cause much appreciated. Uh, these are straight up facts. I'm honestly glad that you are getting them as fact and you're taking something from them. Thank you so much for that. That's the whole point. I aim to not step on anyone's toes, but to really speak about our future, to really speak about how are we going to be affected in the long run, as someone in their 20s right now, financially, where are you and where will you be? Imagine you're on your 20s and already you have a 200,000 loan that you need to pay within 10 years or something like that. You'll be like, you get me. You get me. This topic really hits home for me. Trust me, trust me, trust me, boo boo. I know, and I can understand, and it needs to. If it's doing that, it's doing the right thing, because if it hits home, it means that it's awakening something, and it's somehow helping you to somehow think of the next step, or think, okay, what now? You get my point. So I'm glad that it's touching. It's doing that. I'm glad it's doing that. Um, David says, for those who are just logging on, the black tax is when you are working, but you are giving money to your siblings and parents and other extended families. So thank you so much, David, for that. I hope that they got that. Thank you so much for doing that for me. I appreciate it so much. Some family expect that you would take care of them if you have a nice job. Yes, that's so true. That is so true, David, because um, there's an expectation that gets to be built. You come home with a car, they'll be like, my child is driving a nice car. She has a nice job. She works in Santon. She works in Joburg too. What? So there's an expectation, and as much as you can have a job and have a car or have a house, those things are, you need your car to get by. You need your car to get to work or to go to clients and all of that. You need your home to stay and everything. So when an expectation is built, it's a problem. And the only way to solve that problem is to really have a conversation with the people that are dependent on us, like I was saying. And like I was saying also, if you are able to afford, because not every black child is going through black tax. If you are able to afford 100% to help yourself and help your family and still be able to secure yourself, meaning you have your savings there, you have everything secured. If you can do all of that, then it's fine. It's okay. But with that said, as much as it's okay, I want you to understand something, that if something has to happen to you and you can't work it, then there'll be a problem right there. So you need to somehow find a way to instill change, to instill knowledge, to instill some kind of, you know, positive influence in terms of someone being able to make a way for themselves. And especially if you have, young people in your family that still can be able to do things for themselves, still can get up and go find work, can go to school, can go start their business, all of that. And then with parents on the other side is you saying, this is me, this is you, this is what I have, this is what you have, this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. So just because you're working, and I'm glad that you brought out the word expect. Just because I'm working, it does not mean that every month, because this I'm gonna do this as a joke. My sister, I remember she would when I used to work on corporate and I used to get paid on the 25th. I know that on the 24th or the 25th, actually the 24th, she'll send that message, hey sis, how are you, my queen, my hero? You know, all those sweet messages, because she knows that, hey, sis is getting paid. So that expectation, I don't have a problem with that. Like, it was just, I used to laugh at it and I'd be like, you know what, you're being nice to me because you know that I'm getting paid and you want money from me. All right. So if I'm working, I have that nice job. If I don't send you money month end, don't question why am I not sending money, because it's not something that you should constantly expect me to do. And especially if there's no need, because some people just want you to just keep doing things for them, but there's no need. There's food in the house. There is just about anything in the house. Why do you need money? Why do you feel like every month you need to you know, debt me and just have a debit order must just go off to you? Let's look at these things in another, you know. And also, we need to be able to help our parents, help our families in a different way, in a way that will not necessarily mean that the money needs to physically go to them. You're helping them by also investing in yourself. Meaning, if something has to happen to you and they say, David, um you can't see anymore, you can't use your hands anymore, you can't work, you have to sit down, you can't walk anymore, you can't, let's say your job requires you to run, you are a runner or you're a sport fanatic or whatever. I'm just trying to make examples that will somehow affect you to doing certain things. Then what? What's going to happen to them? So if you invested in yourself and have savings for you, you know that, okay, that will secure me for the longest time. That will secure me for a certain period of time. And I won't have to worry about not paying what or whatever. I'll secure myself. Because if you are not investing in yourself, it means you're going to be a burden for your parents. So it means that they're going to have to take care of you. So, yeah, no. Oh, yeah. So true. Fill your cup first in order to have something to pour from. That's the way we stay down together or grow together. We can actually grow each other through info for self-achievement. That's a beautiful point, Lapita. That's a beautiful point. And I also want to point out this, and I'm glad that you actually commented. I want to use what you are doing for your kids, you and your husband, Corey. What you guys are doing for your kids is amazing. I remember I was on a phone call with Lapita having a conversation, and she was like, "No, my kids are going with my husband to deposit their check or something like that. Oh no, that you guys were writing them checks." And I was fascinated. I'm like, what? Writing them checks? Yes, for whatever duties that they do, like certain, there's work that they would do, and then they would get paid for that, and they have a bank account they get to put the money there. So think about it. Think how beautiful is that? They are still young. And they are able to, as parents, invest that importance of saving. And what they're doing is that they're even writing them checks. Like, it's like you have your pay slip. So meaning you know that this is the amount of money that I have in my bank account. So if you happen to say, I need to have what and what, when you go to that bank account and take that and buy whatever, you know exactly what's remaining, anything like that. But they are instilling this importance of saving. So they are doing that for their kids. So already that will move from one generation to another. When their kids have grown, they will still be able to do that for their kids. So it will be something that keeps going. And by the time I think if listen, I do believe that what you guys have done, Laquita and Corey, it means that by the time they get to their times of being in university or start working and everything like that, they will have enough money to really start a life for themselves because already they are saving up. So imagine if you guys were doing that, like the fact that you guys are doing it. Imagine for the whole of 2021, that savings. And then next year, just like that. Imagine in the next 5 years how far that will. So already this is something that we need to change the narrative looking at, to say, how do you invest knowledge? How do you invest something positive to your kids, to your siblings, to your family members? Because even with our own parents, it's something that we would have to still instill because some they were working, and the fact that they're working, it means that when they retire, there's money that is put aside. You need to find out, okay, what's happening with that money? What are you doing with it? Are you what is it doing? You know, where is it? Is it are you putting it on a basket somewhere where it will grow? What are you investing in? You get my point? Those are things that we need to instill. So I'm encouraging you and myself because I believe that within the midst of an eye, God will bless me with a daughter or a son one day soon. I'm speaking into existence because I'm 34 years old, and at this point, I feel like my child needs to come already. So by that time, when that time comes, I would have to make sure that there is some kind of security for my kid. We Here's the thing: we don't owe our parents, we don't owe them money, or we don't owe them anything. Like, they brought us to this world, and God obviously blessed them with us so that we can be in this world, and they were obviously taking care of us. But I also feel the need that we love and care for our parents, so we will do great things for them. And when you bless, you get blessed more. If you respect, you will be respected. Those kind of things. But now, I want us to understand that you have a responsibility to take care of your property. So your kids are your property. You need to take care of them financially, everything, like everything, so that they don't get to be a burden or feel the burden of having to do all of that. So we can, I mean, as a young woman from a village, I think with such conversation, it's been very difficult to engage about these conversations, and I've seen it happening even around our community. But things need to change, and right about now, I feel like this pandemic should just pause a little bit because it's been a while since we've done engagements and talking to the youth and empowering them, and even talking to the communities to really have such conversations to say, hey, we need to talk about these things. We need to start talking about finances. We need to start talking about how money is affecting us, because at the end of the day, in the long run, we suffer. And it's bad. It's bad because if you're gonna be repaying your loan, and then you took a loan, you have a student loan. Guys, imagine you have a student loan, you have a home loan, you have, I don't know, some kind of medical loans or whatever. You're busy paying all of that, and you find that on all of those you need to pay maybe 3 times. I mean, what each of them is like 10 years. You have to pay it for 10 years. So 30 years of your life. By the time you reach 50 or 50 something, that's when you'll be done with your debts. When are you going to enjoy your money? Okay, I'll come back to enjoying your money. This topic really it hits my tummy. It hurts my tummy because it's really hectic. You have to invest in yourself. Yes, David, totally agree. Totally agree. Going to good schools is a big advantage in terms of networking for your future. That is so true. That is so true. And going to a good school is the same thing as investing in something that will be sustainable. What can I make an example? I'm trying to think of an example that I can use. So let's use a mug because the mug is here. If you're gonna go buy a mug that is not strong, it means that within a few months you will have to replace that mug. You get my point? So meaning it's money that you'll need to spend, double the money. So if you invest in a strong mug, it means that it will sustain you for the longest time. And that means that you won't need to be spending and spending. And a lot of people don't realize that cheap is expensive. Can we talk about this? Okay, can we talk about this? Cheap is expensive. And the reason why I'm saying cheap is expensive is because you keep getting cheap or choosing a cheaper option, cheaper way of doing things. And then in a short period of time, you'll still go back to replace because that is cheap. You took cheap material. If you are going to invest in fly-by-night courses that cost you a few dollars that will not get you far, and then be expected to keep going until you get to a level that you need to be. You're gonna spend time, you're gonna spend money, you're gonna lose out on a lot because you are spending so much when you could have invested in quality. Because when you invest in good quality education, good knowledge, that is something that is here. No one will take it away from you. But when it's cheap, then it will just be a continuous thing and it's not going to be sustainable. No. Cheap is expensive. Cheap is expensive. What if I happen to just, accidentally put this cup and then put it on something and then it breaks? If I get something strong, it will, sustain me for the longest time. So let's invest in good quality things that will be of, good to ourselves, to our families. Let's do that. Hey, Mariam. Yay. Mama, we made it. Mama, we made it. Yes, we made it. Good morning from California. Good morning. Ooh. Good morning. It's almost 7 p.m. here. It's 8 minutes before 7 p.m. and you are in the morning glory. Nice, nice. Precious says, well said, Eddie. The power of education extends beyond the development of skills we need for economic success. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Precious, I totally agree. Yes, you and Eddie are on point. It's very important. And we have to realize that we cannot take the easy way out. And often we want to somehow find the easier way or the quickest way to get into things, and they affect in the long run. They affect in the long run. So you would rather go, spend your last penny in your child, which will get good quality education. Because if you do that, it means that that value that they have, the quality, the skill that they have, it will pay off, you know? And yes, obviously, eventually, the fact that you've invested that, it means that your kids won't come back to you and say, Ish, life is hard. I can't get work and everything. And then they come and sit with you and expect you when it's late at night, they look at you, Mama, what are we eating? Like a 2-year-old or 5-year-old child when they're hungry, looking at their mom. Mom, what's for dinner? What are we eating? So you don't need that. You don't need that. Invest in good quality education so that you can make sure that your kids are better off, like they're well. And you're not doing this so that they can come back and help you, but you are doing this for them. Because if you invest that in them, they will invest that in their kids as well. All right. And when that is invested, you won't have to worry. Because here's the thing, if you are not doing good by your child, it means that that child will come back to you and bother you. If I'm not doing well as your child, you are not taking care of me. Who am I gonna trouble? I'm gonna trouble you. If you are not helping me to get better or to get to the level that I need to, then I'm gonna keep bothering you. And having said that, there's a limit to this thing. Remember when I said that I never got to have this conversation with my parents about finances again. But when I started being in my late, just 23, 22, and all of that, I think I was 23. I started opening my eyes and engaging with people that are very innovative and they are, wise. And I started, growing or taking in so much good knowledge from them because they were my cycle. And be careful with the cycle that the cycle that the company that you keep, because they can either build or break you. So I am grateful that I was in a cycle of people that could guide me and say, hey, you have money in your account, you just want to go and blow it, buy all the nice things and everything, when you can do 1, 2, 3. So luckily I got to see that. And often we think that our parents should be the one showing us everything. Unfortunately, guys, the truth is, it's not always where you will have your parents telling you how to do things, how to do it, and everything. So understand the fact that sometimes you will need to learn on your own. My battery's dying. I'm coming. Sorry, guys. So sorry. I'm sorry. You will have to learn on your own. You will have to find ways yourself. You will have to see how things are done yourself. You have to figure them out. Unfortunately, you can't put on your parents or whatever. And if you want to better your life or help yourself, then you need to learn. It is what it is. It is what it is. Laquita says, yep, self-investment as a young person is something I didn't have. So I'm obliged to teach my household self-investment. Thank you for the compliment. You're welcome. And then like how coincidentally, I just spoke about this, and I happened to read your comment to say, if you never got to get those teachings or those lessons from your parents or your elders, then it doesn't mean that that's what should happen in, like, for your kids or for your household. History does not need to repeat itself. It doesn't need to repeat itself. You can still be able to change things around. So Laquita refused that to allow that, the fact that I did not have those teachings when I was growing up. She didn't allow that to stop her from teaching her household, her family, all of that. So that is a beautiful thing of of being able to change the narrative, to really change things around, and to understand that knowledge does not mean it has to be instilled from that young age. If it wasn't instilled then, it's okay. As you grow and as you start, be wise enough to want to know, be curious to know how things are happening. Question things. You can't just live your life and not question things. It's important that you question things. All right. So thank you so much for that. David says, that's awesome, Peter. What you are doing for your Watoto. Yes, that is super amazing. Like, I'm still blown away by that, David. I'm still blown away, and I feel like, wow, that is actually amazing, amazing. And you see what I said about the people you associate yourself with. Already, this is a positive thing that I'm taking to say, hey, I'm definitely going to do this for my kids. I'm definitely going to do this, because it's something that is great and it teaches them. It teaches them to be responsible. It teaches them financial education before they can even go and study financial accountancy or whatever. You get to start at home. Beautiful. Hey, Nandu. I'm late. Fellow Real fam, listen, you are not late, as Laquita would say. You are not late. You are just in time for the good part. You are not late, honey. You are not late. David says, hey, Sibu, welcome to the conversation. It is a fascinating conversation. Yes, welcome, welcome. Thank you for giving her some love, Dave. Blind guy, you are settling your kids up for success from now. That is awesome. Listen, I am still clapping for that because that's what you are exactly doing. You know what? Big up to you and Corey for doing that. It's super amazing. It's still inspiring, like, wow, And I'm going to brag about this that, hey, guys, do this for your kids. Invest this and that for your kids. Listen, and I'm definitely going to apply it for my kids as well. And my nieces, I need to make sure. My brother, I'm going to make sure that your daughter, listen. Precious says, big up to you, Lapita. By the way, Blind Guy, his wife, and their life, it's a channel of this amazing family couple. So Laquita is the wife, and then Corey is the husband. So normally, and then Corey does not see, like he's blind. So normally it will be Laquita commenting. So that's why often I would say Laquita. So maybe you guys are wondering, who's Laquita? Because you're not seeing the name Laquita. So in case you're doing that. But now I've taken something. David, on David Hand's channel, by the way, check him out. He's amazing. His music is just on another level. His music is on another level. He plays piano, and he's always just blessing us. He's always blessing us. I wish I could, but you know what? I'll play something another time. I wanted to play, and he knows what I'm about to play. He knows what I'm about to play. Let's see something. So what happened to the playlist that happened today? What happened to the video that we played today, David? I don't see it. I don't see it. I wanted to play Springtime. There's this melody. It's just amazing. So I wanted to play it. So if you ever need soothing music and really to just have some quiet moment, you can hear it. You can hear in the background. Can you hear? Can you hear? If you can hear, please comment. Please comment. And as a matter of fact, you can just reduce the volume and continue with that conversation. I think it adds to the mood. I think it adds to the mood. I read that. Listen, they are great. Big up. I'm going to. Precious says, big up to you. I'm going to implement that in my household. Listen, Precious, you and I both. You and I same what's up. Listen, it's the way to go. It's the way to go. It's great. We should instill that. David says, that's awesome, Precious. Yay. Yes. Like that. Much appreciated, David. I didn't know about numerous investment opportunities, your own business, someone else's business, stock, real estate, talking about real estate and stocks and everything like that. You are honestly reminding me of the fact that I now started looking into those things, and I think I've seen a couple of your episodes on your channel that speaks about like investments and everything like that. And buying shares, like there's just so much, and we need to invest, the guys. We need to invest in ourselves, invest in the future of our children and our future generation, because it is what it is. It is what it is. Precious is just happy. She's feeling this. She is feeling this. Fresh. Let's do this. Let's do this, honey. We are doing this. Lupita says, thank you so much. It can only improve. It can only improve everyone. Yes, yes, yes. So yes, implement what you can in your household. I do agree. I do agree. We get better with time. We get better as we go. Honestly, you can't just get it all figured out in a day or two or three or in a year. But you keep going, you keep learning, you keep seeing what you can do better. And in all honesty, I am grateful that I'm able to learn certain things. And if I can share a little bit about my life, to say that a lot of things that I got to learn, it was through people that I would have random conversations with. I would be sitting in a bus, going to school and having a conversation with someone. They will say something and that thing will remain with me or teach me something. That's how I got to grow and mature with that, because it's not always where things come to you are taught or are told to you. Like so many things I just got to discover themselves on my own, and parents would not tell us all of those things. So we need to understand that that's how life is. And a lot of times we will experience that, where you just happen to randomly get someone to tell you something that is important. And again, the God's child in me is, what do you mean? What am I saying? God's child in me, as if there's a part of me that is not God's child. Me being a child of God, I do believe that God speaks to us in many ways, with different people, different ways, and He communicates with us in different ways. So I do believe that whatever that could happen or something that could be instilled in your life is because there's a message, or there's some kind of way that God wanted you to, experience. You get me? You get me? Nondu says, David, I'm sure it's interesting. Love the topic. Thank God for playback. I'll catch up. Awesome, honey. Awesome. Thank you. Lucretia says, yes, welcome, Nondu. Just in time for the good part. I love that. Just in time for the good parts. Like, yes. Hey, Coach Remy. Welcome. David says, welcome, Coach Remy. Man, you are killing it in the fitness space. Welcome to the conversation. He is killing it. And can I just, you know, release you guys a little bit from talking about this deep conversation. And can I just say that I ran 28 kilometers yesterday. 28. 28. Coach Remy, are you there? Are you there, Coach Remy? 28 kilometers. And you saw it on my Instagram. I've got proof. My watch doesn't lie. It had all the proof. Sorry. Oh yeah. um, Coach Remy says, David Hunt, thanks. Yes. Yes. So Coach Remy, what do you think of black text? Since you just joined us, what do you think of black text? So, but guys, I am playing, you know, some quiet time piano background, meditation vibes. Why aren't you guys commenting? Or you don't recognize the background music? Or should I increase the volume? Huh? David, don't you recognize your own sound? Huh? Aren't you recognizing your own sound? Uh-uh. Please recognize. Huh? I want my springtime. David, you must put a chapter so that I know where springtime is and I could go and play my springtime. But not that only springtime is nice, like all of you. I love, like, today when you were live, I actually watched as I was going to collect something from a client, so I had to be on the road, so I wasn't listening properly. When I got home, I replayed from beginning until, because I needed that quiet time. You guys have to check out David Hunt. Like, I'm telling you, if you have a black text stress, that stress that month, and you have to take all your money and give it to whoever wants it, you need that calmness. You must go to David Hunt's, music. Ah, Coach Remy is clapping for me. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Fire, fire. Yes. 28 kilometers. That's amazing. Yes, David. Yeah. Like, I am on the move. You see, I associate with the coaches. We have amazing coaches, the coach Remy's, the experts. So there's no way that I can slag with, people like Remy right there. Oh, wow. Coach Remy, you have inspired Curry to get his workout going again. You are giving us the good motivation, and Tavi is doing her thing too. I mean, we gotta do that. Gotta do that. And my tagline is show up for yourself and make today count. So I am showing up for myself. That's what I'm doing. So we gotta all do that. Show up for ourselves. Our health is our wealth. David says increase the volume. I have increased the volume. I have increased the volume. Is it loud enough? I hope it's louder. I have no information about black text. Really? I wish I was you. I wish I was you. So let me show you this small thing. If you're not affected, then you are in a good space when I coach Remy, I'm telling you. I can't hear the background music at all. I don't hear very well though. I don't hear very well though. Sorry. I try to increase. But I guess maybe it's because my laptop speaker is far from my mic. I don't know. It's not loud enough. Ah, I'm sorry. My volume is on 100, I tell you. Can I show you guys that my volume is on 100? I don't know if you can see. Can you see? My volume is on 100. Can you see? The volume is on 100. So I don't know. It's not loud enough. Lakita, like that. Oh, like that. That keeps my fire. Okay, all right. Real talk. That is my tagline. Health is wealth. Yes, yes, definitely. We can see. Yes, I don't know why you can't hear. Unfortunately, I can't. Well, I'll enjoy the sound alone, so it's all good. So now I want to speak about this important thing that as much as you build your wealth, as much as you keep building your wealth, you need to enjoy your money. As much as, listen, no. Where am I? Now we're building wealth. You see, now I'm losing my train of thought. So, as much as we are looking into bettering ourselves financially, having good or better financial, choices, I think it's very important. Yes, please send springtime. Please do. Because I don't think I have, please send it. I don't think I have played your playlist as yet. I'm sure I could have figured out. So my point is, it's very important that you enjoy your life, you enjoy your money. You can't keep working and not enjoy your life and enjoy your money. It's so sad that you keep working and working and working, but you can't even buy yourself a great pair of shoes because you need to keep doing this. Someone is depending on you. You need to keep doing everything for others and not being able to do something for yourself. I believe that when you put in the work and you get rewarded for your work, you also need to reward yourself. And that's why we need to break that generational curse of really having to have, to suffer. Because I feel like at some point the suffering that happens in the process because you keep having to pay back or take whatever that you have and put it on something and you can't do anything for yourself. I'm not saying don't give. I'm not saying don't do good. But you need to get to a level where you enjoy the fruits of your work. The reason why, and this is maybe a little bit off topic, the reason why I left my day job was because I was getting symptoms of stroke and I was not okay. I was not healthy and money was coming in. And I asked myself this question: if I stay in this toxic and in this unhealthy environment, is this going to be worth it for me? Is this going to help my health? Is this going to be good for my health? Is this going to be good for me? And if I keep doing it like this, will I get to enjoy my money, or I will be sitting or sleeping in a hospital bed and the money that I worked for will be paying for those bills instead of me sitting down or being in a place of peace and quietness and in a beautiful environment in an ocean somewhere and enjoying myself, or being with people that I love, being my family, just being with them, celebrating, sitting, having food, enjoying ourselves? Or will I be in a hospital bed fighting for my life just because I'm chasing money. Because now I'm getting to this point that we have people that are still, unfortunately, they are still holding on to toxic environments or staying in environments that are not healthy for them just because they need to make a difference. They need to help out at home, but their health is not good. They are not good. They are not healthy. They are not okay. I am so concerned about that, that your health is affected. Your health is affected, and you are now focused on, I need to work. I need to make sure that money comes in. I need to make sure that I do this, but you are not okay. Have you thought about yourself? Have you thought about your health? This is now where mental health comes in. That conversation of mental health is coming in now. How are you mentally? When you are busy doing all that you're doing for the sake of helping others, how are you helping yourself? How are you helping yourself? How are you helping yourself in the process? How are you making sure that you are okay? Do you even have medical aid? Do you even have that funeral cover and all of that, that when something happens to you, you'll be sorted? Do you have that savings account that when rainy days come, you will go there and just take the money? You know what's sad? What's sad is that life happens, guys. And when life happens, sometimes you find yourself in a space where whatever that you had, whatever that you had vanishes. Because it's possible that you can lose whatever that you've had due to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. When that happens and you are not able to help yourself, and no one in your life is able to, no one is able to help you, what's going to happen? Even the strongest break. Even the strongest break. So meaning, even if you are the breadwinner, even if you are the one with the nice job, the great job and whatnot, even if you have all of that job, it can happen. Like let's take this pandemic for example. A lot of people got retrenched, not because they're not good at their job, but because the companies were not able to afford to pay or to just continue serving or keeping them in the company. What happens then? If you are not taking care of yourself financially, physically, and everything, what's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to you? Laquita says, I like the black text info that you shared. It explains it well because we have that facts. It doesn't have an official name. Sharing info is the best way to break it through and create self-development. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Tangy. Hey, honey. Surely here to learn. You know, this is a platform to learn, and we do that one video at a time. Thank you for the enlightenment. Much appreciated, Martin. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're taking something out of it. David says, You are out here saving lives today. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Dave, because I honestly see the need to really speak life into others. And if there's one thing that one can take, then I'll be happy. As a matter of fact, I usually share this, and this summarizes what we should do as people or our lives in general. I always say that your story might not be my story, but through our stories, there's something to learn. I think majority of us here now, we learn something from what Laquita and Corey are doing for their kids. So meaning, as much as they have work that they get to do, they get paid, and they get to see, to even go and deposit their money at the bank themselves. So that is not our story. That is Laquita and Corey's story, household story. But there's a page that we can take from their story and apply it in our lives. So meaning you can take that page and apply it in your life and really invest that in your kids. So we can really learn so much from each other without having to go through the most first. You don't have to go through the hardships of things first. You don't have to go through that. You don't have to go through that until you get to be okay. Sometimes all you need is that someone who will share a thought, and all you gotta do is to take that thought and apply it in your life, and appreciate that these are lessons that someone has been through. And I'm not saying that how you apply it in your life will be the same, but all I'm saying is that when you get to learn something, there is a way that you can look at doing it and applying it to your family as well. Because we're all about doing good and learning from the good. We all here in life to learn and unlearn. We learn and unlearn. We learn and unlearn. So I'm hoping that this video was able to help you learn and unlearn. I'm hoping that this video was able to make you see things with a different eye. I hope that this video was able to teach you something about change, about thinking better or doing better. I'm not an expert. You're not an expert. You don't have to be an expert. I don't need to be an expert. We just need to open our minds. We need to really see how we can better our lives. Financial freedom is very important, and we need that for ourselves, for our kids, for our families. We need that for ourselves. So I think let's end this video here. It's almost 2 hours and minutes to go. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing 2 hours. And I just want to say thank you for each and every one of you who was able to contribute to this content and share your opinions on this topic. This very not so comfortable topic, because hey, it's just, yeah, no, it's not it's not the most easiest topic to talk about. So thank you so much. Thank you, Dave. We are all, thank you, Laquita. Good stuff today. I'm off to film and enjoy this. Yes, I'm also going to be off now because I think we have managed to say a mouthful. So thank you guys so much. And if it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you for watching until the end. It means so much to me, and I appreciate you. and I appreciate your time. And this is helping me towards my watch time. So I'm hoping that you took something out of this video, and I'm hoping that you're gonna make today count and really do something with your life. And with that said, love you always, guys.